Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very exciting PONANT Yacht Cruises and Expeditions webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenters. This webinar will run about 35 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenters, Lindsay White and Teresa Gatta. Teresa serves as Vice President of Sales and National Accounts at PONANT Yacht Cruises and Expeditions and says, if there's one thing I know, it's helping travel advisors succeed, and I'm proud to have spent my entire career doing just that. I understand your challenges and opportunities, and along with the entire PONANT team, love to work with you every day to fulfill your clients' dreams and help you grow your business. Teresa has over 20 years of experience in the travel industry, leading teams to succeed in sales, account management, brand development, and marketing. She resides in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania with her husband Tommy and their dog and 2 cats. She enjoys spending as much time as possible outdoors, traveling, and meeting global friends. And joining Teresa is Lindsay, who has worked in the luxury travel industry for 14 years, including 3 small ship expedition companies. She has been in the field as an assistant cruise director and has been to 62 countries. Lindsay now lives in New Orleans when she's not working or traveling, she enjoys hiking with her dog Leo or getting together with family over some Cajun cooking. And with that, take it away, Teresa and Lindsay.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We're so excited to be here, and we are such devout and strong members and proud members of CLIA. And thank you all for participating and being members of CLIA as well. This is Teresa, by the way, speaking. Just a quick snapshot of our sales team. You see the whole team there on the screen. Ellen McIlvain is our Director of Business Development for the Northwest. Yannetti Perez for the Southeast. Preston Cadell is the director for the Central region, and Preston is also on the call on the webinar with us today, and he'll be helping us answer some questions at the end. You all just met Lindsay. Dale Woods is our Director of Business Development for the Northeast. Catherine Bryn runs our reservation department and customer service, and I know that a lot of you speak with Catherine from time to time for assistance and her team. And Rita Shanique is our Director of Groups and Latin America Sales. And that's our team in a nutshell. But let me tell you about some exciting things that are going on here at PONANT. We're really proud to say that we had a new CEO join us this week. Hervé Gastonel is our new global CEO. He resides at our headquarters in Marseille. And Hervé is a man of industry, an expert in business transformation and seasoned and experienced navigator. And so we put some of his quotes in here because they were so inspiring. He joined us this week, and he did a wonderful video message to us and some webinars, and we're so thrilled to have his energy. But he is a manager. He says a manager is like a good sailor, must remain vigilant and know how to anticipate changes. My role is to give the teams a vision of the future based on an analysis of the trends in the company and the sector of activity. And his priorities are continuing to build PONANT's level of excellence and quality service. He has a laser focus on our commitment to responsible and sustainable tourism, and most importantly, the safety of our guests and our crew. Welcome, Hervé. And just a quick snapshot, we're going to be talking about Le Commandant Charcot today, our newest exploration vessel, but I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of our current fleet. Le PONANT is 16 cabins. It's our 3-masted sailing yacht. Our sister ships, between 122 and 132 cabins. We have 4 sister ships. The Explorer class, with 6 ships in total, 92 cabins at 100% balcony. And then, of course, Le Commandant Charcot, which we'll be giving you a whole bunch of great information for you to share with your clients. This ship is the ultimate bucket list luxury sailing exploration vessel. And people always ask, where are your ships based? Where do they go? Our ships are constantly moving around the world in a normal year, and we have 400 cruises sailing all over the world to 450 ports on all 7 continents. And there's a little map that has, just basically every coastal area that we cover. And just on a high level on what's included in our cruises, all of your meals are included, an open bar. And in our open bar, we also have premium packages where the bar can be upgraded. The bar inclusions can be upgraded. We include taxes and gratuities. We include the sauna and the snow room. You'll hear about that snow room in a little bit. Pretty cool. We also include 24-hour room service, butler service in our suites, shore excursions, and unlimited Wi-Fi is included when available. And Lindsay will tell you a little bit more about what that means. And just a quick snapshot on our commitment to sustainability and our environmental certifications. PONANT is the first international cruise line to join the premier environmental certification in North America. And you can see some of our credentials here on the screen. This is not just something that we've done recently. We've always been committed to being a sustainable cruise line. We go beyond green. Our entire fleet is certified clean. Offset carbon is 150%. Our engines are silent electric propulsion systems. We do 3D ocean floor mapping, and that is basically so we don't have to drop anchor in sensitive areas and disturb any marine life on the ocean floor. Same thing goes for the dynamic positioning. We have advanced wastewater treatment, far-sounding sonar, LED and CFR lighting technologies, and that's very sensitive to marine life as well. And of course, we're always making sure that our environmental impact is happening 24/7, and it's happening pre-cruise, post-cruise, and during the cruise. Zero impact on landing protocol, and we're proud to say that we have won the Blue Charter Trophy in 2016, and we're also a member of the Les Secours Polar supporter, and we have robust health and safety protocols that we're constantly updating to make sure that they're relevant to whatever's happening in the specific area that we're traveling to. And then, of course, you may have read in the news just this week about the PONANT Foundation, which has a strong focus on the people and the poles and the oceans. And we launched the PONANT Foundation in 2019. We're actually in the middle right now of starting to build a school. And check the press because there's some great articles about the PONANT Foundation. And so I want to get you guys all ready for the next adventure. And the next adventure is going to be traveling aboard the Commandant Charcot. We will make sure that, and to get you ready, I made sure that you could see a kind of a snapshot of all the gear that you're going to need. The PONANT parka, which is included complimentary to your guests. And then, of course, we'll also provide your guests way in advance a packing list of what they need to take with them so they're ready to have the most comfortable and most fun adventure. We'll always make sure that your guests are prepared and that you're prepared to share any information with your guests. And then, of course, we also include boot rentals. So there's a little picture there of our guests getting ready to take their boots. I put those boots to the test. They are warm and dry and so comfortable. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the adventure over to Lindsay White.
Thank you, Teresa. Like Teresa, I am so excited to be here, and I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is Le Commandant Charcot. And I want to ask you to forget what you know about the Arctic and Antarctic, because honestly, there's so much more out there. Beyond the polar circles, you can experience the excitement of being surrounded by thousands of emperor penguins, the awe of seeing Inuit villagers with their teams of working sled dogs, and actually feel the thrill of being one of the few to stand on the geographic North Pole. Oh, I think we're one slide ahead, Preston. Can you go back one? Maybe we're missing a slide. Okay. You can go ahead and play the video, I guess. This video is some interior shots of the ship, so we're happy to share a sneak peek with you. All right, not too bad. So I wanted to let you know that even before Charcot, PONANT has been the world leader in polar expeditions. We've actually brought more people to Antarctica and the Arctic than any other cruise line in the world. With Charcot, we can go so much further, taking your travelers beyond Svalbard, Western Greenland, and the Antarctic Peninsula, where they will literally become modern-day explorers. So you'll see here that it shows that Le Commandant Charcot holds 270 guests. In actuality, she'll carry an average of 200 to 220 passengers. She's the same length as the rest of our fleet, but 108 feet wider. And at 30,000 tons, she's 3 times larger. This allows her to navigate through ice and also provides 30% more public space than most small ships, which is definitely an added benefit during COVID. Our cutting-edge technology is taking cruising to a new level. You'll see on this slide that there's a lot of firsts here. She'll be the world's first cruise ship built to a PC2 category. She'll be the first expedition cruise ship to use dual fuel liquefied natural gas, or LNG. She'll also use batteries when stopped, so this will allow your clients to really have silence and no vibration because the main engines will be using battery. At PONANT, we believe that you protect what you know best, and we've had a history with scientific partnerships. In fact, Whales in a Changing Ocean, a film that was created in partnership with Conservation International, just won the 2021 Directors Award at the International Ocean Film Festival earlier this week. With Charcot, we've taken our commitment to science a step further and created a dedicated science research station on board. We're giving scientists across the globe access to the far-flung destinations that we visit. We'll also have an in-depth citizen science program. This means that your clients can work with the scientist and naturalist on the research projects being done and hopefully make a positive impact on our ecosystem. So Charcot has 9 decks, and first we'll focus on the 3 that are dedicated to public areas. You'll see on deck 5 in brown, there's a promenade. So this is a deck that is heated using recycled water from our ship. There's also 4 heated benches along this walkway. And for guests looking to take a stroll, it's a great way to experience this without passing by anybody's staterooms or suites. When you make 5 laps around the promenade, you've completed a full mile. So this is deck 3, our expedition deck. And looking at the schematics, you get a sense of how we will be embarking and disembarking on expeditions. So the 2 blue rooms are our expedition rooms. This is where guests gather to get their boots, put on their gear, and meet their naturalist. And on the next slide, you'll actually be able to see what it looks like. So at the top image, this is a picture of our expedition room. It doesn't look like a normal mud room, does it? Rather than a wall lined with lockers where you have your boots and the next time you're out, they're still damp, they don't smell that good. Instead, our crew will be able to take your boots after you've completed your expedition ashore. They'll disinfect them for you, and they'll put them in one of our high-end boot dryers. Then they'll store them under your stateroom or suite number so that whenever you get your boots back, they're clean and they're warm. And also, I wanted to point out our elevators at the bottom picture. We have 2, and they're midship. They're midship so that no guests are coming to and from the elevators in your actual cabin section. So these cabins are meant to be extremely quiet, and the elevators are at the reception, which you'll see on the right. Each elevator holds comfortably 10 to 12 guests. And you'll see the LED screen here. So this is something that is another first for us. We're actually working with 2 artists, and we're doing a multimedia installation with LED lighting, but sound as well, to really utilize our surrounding areas in nature and kind of get the perspective from the artist of what that could look and sound like. And next, you'll see that, like all of our ships, we've designed Charcot to establish a connection with the surrounding landscapes. You've seen how we're doing this through digital art, but we're also doing this through public spaces. We're taking names from natural elements in the Inuit language to honor their culture. So right here, boutique is called Ilu, which means igloo. And don't worry, we do plan to have more high-end items here in this boutique. Things like casual and expedition clothing, books, souvenirs, toiletries, and even games for children. And next, you'll see our main lounge. So this is on deck 5, and it is 3,400 square feet. What I love most about this main lounge is that you can see in the back, you'll see the head of a gentleman, and there are small alcoves that are attached to the lounge that really give an added amount of privacy so that you can have, conversations that aren't overheard by others as well. We'll also have a stage area and dancing, a piano for live music that'll be played in the evenings. And we'll have an adjacent cigar lounge with high-end cigars, cognacs, and additional liqueurs. There is a ventilation system that really prevents smoke from escaping this room as well. Guests can enjoy a drink from the bar or have a cup of tea before heading to the theater for their naturalist talk or musical performance. So this is our theater. It's called Kita, which means let's go. It has 2 entrances, tiered seating, and it can accompany the entire ship. So you may know that PONANT is known for our exceptional cuisine, and being a French cruise line, we wouldn't stand for anything less. The top left is a picture of our fine dining restaurant. It's also referred to as our main dining room. You'll see another vantage point on the bottom picture here. So it's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It can accommodate all guests in a single service. and it has tables of 2, 4, and 6. The exception is the captain's table, which you can see here. Meals are plated with multiple menu options to really cater to a range of meal preferences and restrictions. Each meal will have both French and international cuisine, and it includes fine wines from the cellar, which you can see in the top left picture here. The top right picture is our casual grill restaurant. It has, you can't see as well, but it does have floor to ceiling windows that open up to the outside. So this is the indoor portion of the grill restaurant. And usually it's a buffet style, but of course we're going to adapt for COVID and likely have plated meal options. There's an open cooking concept and an open floor plan, so you'll be able to see the chef and his team as they prepare your food. So this slide is certainly a highlight of Charcot. This is our outdoor pool area. It's called the Blue Lagoon, and it's phrased inek, which means fire. The water here is heated between 80 and 99 degrees. It's about 3 feet deep, and you might be able to see the benches that surround that inner curve of the Blue Lagoon. There's actually a wall in the middle, so there are 2 separate pool areas. So this isn't a swimming pool per se, that's more for our indoor pool area. But the pool is heated, as are the decks. And you'll actually be excited to hear that the permanent seating that you see here, those sofas that are lining the pool area, they're heated as well. And then our fire pit in the middle, since we're not allowed to have fire on the ship, it's actually heated with the same recycled water that's used for the seating and the deck. We have a heat lamp there and then some lava rocks. So in fact, the decks from deck 5 through 9, they're all heated, and the windows and the doors are heated as well. So we're preventing you from slipping, and then also making sure that your clients can see outside and view the landscape as well. Also on the picture on the bottom right, you'll see the Blue Lagoon bar. This is actually the outdoor section of the grill restaurant that you saw in the last slide. Also, something new that we're doing daily from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., we'll have quick bites available that will be a variety of both sweet and savory food. And the next slide is our observatory lounge. So this is always a favorite room in our ships. This is a place where guests can come and relax, take in the scenery, read a good book. This is at the front of deck 9. It's about 3,000 square feet. It can hold about 84 guests comfortably. And it has a U shape, which again gives privacy, but also lets you have incredible views from pretty much any seat in the lounge. So what I love about deck 9 is that every single room has these floor to ceiling windows that you see here. And a lot of the rooms also have the open area, so an atrium or skylight. You can get a sense of that here in the main picture. You can see this glass section of ceiling. This is a great place for your clients to go at night to take in the stars and the northern lights when they may not want to go out on deck in the cold. If they are willing to brave the cold, however, we will have a few telescopes out on this back deck, which you can see on the smaller picture down below. So this is also on deck 9. This is kind of our wellness center. It's 5,000 square feet altogether. It's referred to as Nuon, which means wellness or happiness. There's a couple of photos that I couldn't quite fit in here. So we're missing, there's a total of 3 spa areas, a hair salon, a nail salon, And we have a beautiful Serenity room, which is a lounge where your clients can relax before and after treatments. What I love here is that this indoor pool pretty much goes against everything that you think about when you think of an indoor pool. You don't have that sense of suffocation or darkness, and you don't have that chlorine smell either. Our pool is saltwater. It has a counter current, so it's great for swimming laps. You can see the natural light coming in through that glass ceiling. And then behind the pool on the other end, you can see our detox bar. So the bar is to the right on the back wall. And here your clients can grab a fresh juice or smoothie and then relax in one of the sofas or armchairs that are to the left just there. And again, amazing panoramic views. Then on the bottom left picture, it's our gym. Kind of like the boutique, there's a lot more going on here than the picture actually shows. We're going to have 3 treadmills, a rowing machine, some free weights, 2 stationary bikes. One of them is going to be recumbent, so that's the bike where you lean back while you pedal. We'll have an elliptical bike, and then we'll even have a personal trainer available. Additionally, we're going to have some morning exercise options like yoga, Pilates, meditation classes. I mentioned the promenade walking deck. And then, of course, because we do everything over the top on Charcot, we are having a sauna, but also a snow room. So we're generating our own snow here on the picture in the bottom middle. What we're doing is recreating the Finnish sauna experience. This was actually just added to the list of UNESCO cultural heritage things to do, and it happened, it was added last December. So the benefits of this Finnish sauna is taking a sauna followed by a snow bath. It's supposed to really show relaxation and heart health. So aversion to hypertension and other cardiovascular diseases. So here is the next deck plan. We're moving on to the 3 decks that are for guest staterooms and suites. An exception to these is deck 8. You'll see that there is the bridge at the front of the ship. So you might know that this is certainly not a detriment. Guests are always excited to be close to the captain and his crew, and being there so near to where the ship is manned is considered quite an honor. So here is a picture of our prestige stateroom. This is our most affordable cabin level. And all of their staterooms are en suite, and they all have balconies. So here you can see in the top picture, there is a shower, and behind there's a separate room for the bathroom. Looking at the bottom, it's a different view, same room, and you can see the couch and chair. That's a great area to order room service, or you can take that out on the balcony through the sliding glass doors. We've designed these rooms to have ample storage area for suitcases and clothing as well. And what's so great about the prestige staterooms is that you can remove a panel between the balconies and the interior walls on some of these staterooms so that they can actually be converted into a suite. And one of the beds is converted to a couch. So that's another option. It's great for families traveling together too.
Hey, Lindsay, I just wanted to quickly add that on the shower area, what we do is there's actually a slider there that will slide over, and there'll be privacy for the shower, of course, to other guests in the room. But at the same time, it also is an option to add more light into the bathroom, the shower area.
That's a great point, Teresa. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, so this is the duplex suite on the top left. So these are on decks, it says 7 and 8. They're actually on decks 6 and 7. They're each 1,000 square feet, and that does not include the deck that you see here. Also not on these decks are the fact that each one of these has a hot tub. So I'm excited about that. These duplex suites, they have a separate living room area, a dining area for 6, and 1.5 baths. All of our suites, they have both a shower and a jetted bath. They also have butler service, priority boarding, and they also have priority selection of activities on board. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then on our top right, we have our owner's suite. And again, it has a living room and a dining room. It also has a desk area and a separate sitting room as well. The owner's suite is on 1 floor. The best thing about the owner's suite is this incredible patio terrace, which is the bottom picture. It is the most beautiful patio I have ever seen. It's 2,000 square feet. You'll see the hot tub here. We are also adding a telescope so that the owner's suite has its own private viewing area to see wildlife and glaciers. And then these rocks here, they're actually not as hard and cold as they look. They're heated and they're additional seating areas. So I talked about activities just now, and we've really been mindful in choosing activities that allow access to remote areas while respecting the environment. We do have a helicopter and we do have snowmobiles, but we're using these for scouting purposes and emergencies only. Our activities are in personalized small groups with 10 guests per naturalist. So you're probably familiar with these options. We have hiking, and where the snow is deeper, we'll have snowshoeing as well. We'll have zodiac cruising and polar plunge, and we'll have kayaking. But on the next slide, we have some new options. We have our polar swim, which is probably something that you've never heard of because no cruise line has ever done it. So this is for people that may not be ready for the polar plunge, but they want the adventure of getting into the polar seas. They have their polar gear on underneath, so your clients remain warm and dry underneath. It's essentially a dry suit that they put over, and we're actually adding a flotation on the back of the head so that when they put their heads down, they're floating as well. It's very hard to swim in these suits, so the best thing to do is simply lay back, relax, and float. On the top right, we have our hovercraft here. We're still thinking about whether we want to keep our hovercraft for getting your clients to and from destinations, or if we want to do more of a scenic tour. But it's definitely something that we will have available, and it's a great way to access places that you need to cross both ice and land to get to. For Arctic destinations, we're going to have ice fishing in some places, mainly in Greenland. And there could be the option to actually catch your fish and then have it cooked by our chef after the fact. Something that is so brand new that it's not even listed here is the fact that we are looking at, in Greenland as well, doing a dog sledding program. So dog sledding could be available where we're looking at the logistics right now. It would be 2 guests per dog sled, and then the owner of the dogs would be the one manning the sled itself. So I mentioned before PC2. That stands for Polar Class 2. There's a lot of different international ice class categories. And PC2 is what Le Commandant Charcot is. She is the highest ice class for a purpose-built ship. And when I say purpose-built, I mean a ship that is built for tourism, not a freighter ship. So most of the dedicated competition are a PC6 or a 1A. So the difference of that can be seen in the next slide. So we are 8.5 feet of ice thickness. We can go through that thickness. The PC6 can cut through about 3.5 feet. So it's quite a difference. And in a lot of cases, it's the difference between going through multi-year ice that is built up over the years versus ice that is just formed over winter time. So another thing that I like to do to look at that visually is that this is where most ships have to stop and turn around, but this is where the Charcot journey is just beginning.
Lindsay, I have to ask you, can we go back to that slide? I'm seeing footprints there to the left.
Mm-hmm. Those are polar bear tracks.
Wow. Very cool.
It's incredible. And I guess this is actually a good point to bring up Teresa's reminder about internet. You may not be surprised to find that when we get to polar latitudes like this, the internet is not going to be the same as if we were in Europe somewhere. So when we get beyond 80 degrees latitude, then we won't have internet connection. What we're doing is downloading news articles, we're downloading movies, sporting events for people to try to plan ahead so that you have some things to watch and be entertained beyond what we have planned for you. The closer you get to 80 degrees, the weaker the signal does get. So email will be less. And whenever we go beyond the Antarctic Peninsula, you will be able to send and receive emails, but you won't be able to have any attachments. You won't be able to watch videos and probably won't be able to surf the internet. So it'll be a very basic email connection.
But very relaxing.
Yes, exactly. All right, so not only do we go further with Charcot, but we're able to experience destinations year-round. During these times, unexplored areas are more accessible. The landscape has never been more pristine, and we're likely to be the only ship around. So we've handpicked 3 of our most unique and popular itineraries to share a little bit more with you. On the next slide, you'll see the holy grail for polar explorers, the geographic North Pole. At 90 degrees north, it's the one place where you can literally stand on top of the world. What was once an outrageous sentiment is now a reality that few people have had the privilege of experiencing. It's probably not a surprise that there's only a few staterooms remaining on this particular departure. However, we do have 2 more sailings available in 2021, and we're about to post our 2022 departures for the North Pole. So I'm excited about this one. It's the total eclipse in the Weddell Sea. We're excited to share this brand new itinerary with you because it's not new with just PONANT, but for any cruise line. We'll be the very first to sail to the eastern part of the Weddell Sea, unexplored and unknown. It's here that we'll see a total eclipse of the sun, the only area in the world where the solar eclipse will be 100% visible. In this region near the polar circle, the sun never actually sets. When the sky goes dark from this eclipse, temperatures will fall and birds and animals will go silent. While the dramatic event lasts around 6 minutes, the experience will be one never forgotten.
Wow, I have goosebumps.
I want to go on this
cool.
trip. All right, and our final trip is the emperor penguins of the Bellinghausen Sea. This is a favorite of our expedition director. So this is a true exploration, and here we actually go in search of a gigantic colony of emperor penguins that have never before been seen by humans. We know that they're there because we've seen them on satellites, but the colony has never been documented. I had a call from a travel advisor about a month ago, and she wanted to know where the colony was and what it was called, and I couldn't tell her. And she thought that I didn't know, and it wasn't that I didn't know, it was that it's not documented. The colony doesn't actually have a name. So guests on this departure will be the very first to see and be seen by these penguins. And at this time, they should have chicks that are only a few weeks old.
Lindsay, I've read that the emperor penguins are the tallest and actually largest penguin in the breed, and that they're sometimes almost over 4 feet tall, depending on the size of the penguin, but also over 50 pounds. So I can imagine being at the largest emperor penguin colony, but you're talking about thousands and thousands of 50-pound or more penguins. It's going to be a surreal experience.
It really is. I see why, you know, Nico was so excited about this itinerary. Definitely. So our first departure on Charcot is scheduled this summer, and 2022 North Pole and Arctic sailings are being released later this month in late April. So we'll have, hopefully, not the ECLIPSE program again, but we will definitely have more North Pole departures, more Arctic departures, and hopefully some new ones as well to share with you. And now I will turn it back over to you, Teresa.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Wow, that was great and so exciting. I can't wait. And please, any questions, send them our way. If we don't get a chance to answer them today, we will make sure that we get back to you. I just wanted to quickly cover our Sail with Confidence program. As I mentioned in the beginning, we certainly have a lot of safety protocols put into place. Our COVID safe zones and access conditions prior to boarding, maintenance of the COVID safe zone on board, COVID safe zones throughout your voyage. And I also wanted to point out some things that happen every day at PONANT, things for you to look for. Every day we have savings on PONANT's itineraries of up to 30%. We also have a honeymooner savings program of up to 5%. We have an amazing solo travelers program. If you go onto our website and you click on the solo travelers program, at any given day, it can range from 50 different cruises up to 140. It changes daily, but it's an excellent deal because there's no single supplement for those cruises. Keep an eye on that because there's a lot of people out there that love to travel solo, or if they're traveling with friends or family and they want their own cabin, it makes it affordable for them. And of course, we have our back-to-back cruise savings. We have our Share the Moment program, 5% savings for groups of 5 or more travelers. And we have our anniversary savings of $260 savings off of the stateroom. You can also learn more about PONANT overall on the PONANT Academy. And all you have to do is when you actually sign on to PONANT Pro and you click on the Travel Advisor portal, you can take our training program. Next slide, please. Where you'll earn a $100 gift card after you've made your first booking. And we'll also give you 5 CLIA credits, 2 CEU credits for Travel Institute, and more. So take advantage of this opportunity. It's a great way to put some extra money in your pocket and learn about the PONANT itineraries, as well as we'll be updating this site almost regularly with new information. And I also want to touch on our sales team again real quickly, and I have to apologize. I omitted 2 really important people off of this slide, and that is Vanessa Lee and Olga from our Cruise Strategies in Canada, who represent us in Canada. If you need to get in touch with Vanessa or Olga and you are from Canada, please reach out to us. We'll make sure that you have their contact information. If you live in Canada, I'm sure that you all know Vanessa and Olga very well. And then I also wanted to, before we start our Q&A, I wanted to just tell you to keep your eyes peeled for more news about some exciting new itineraries coming out from PONANT, as well as new itineraries for 22 and 23. At this time, we'll be happy to take your questions. I also want to say merci beaucoup, thank you, Clea, thank you, travel advisors, for all of your support. We're so looking forward to getting back to normal cruising and helping satisfy our clients from around the world.
Thank you so much, Teresa and Lindsay. That was amazing information, and we do have some questions coming in, so let's get to those. Our first one is from Nancy, who is wondering if the Charcot is part of the 6 Explorer class ships, or is it a new class?
It is absolutely a new class. It is a class onto itself, and it's completely different in so many different ways from our other ships, our sister ships, and our Explorer class ships.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Catherine, who is wondering if the personal trainer that Lindsay mentioned, is that complimentary or is that an added bonus?
Lindsay.
Catherine, I knew someone was going to ask that question. So at this point, that is something that we are still working out, but we would be happy to let you know once we do come to a conclusion.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Linda, who is wondering if snowmobiling will be available for guests on the Arctic itinerary.
Lindsay?
So it actually will not be, and the reason for that is safety. We will be going over some varying levels of ice, and with the naked eye, it's really difficult to tell if it will be able to handle a snowmobile or not. So that's why we are using it for our ship crew, for scouting purposes, and for medical emergencies as well, but we are not going to have guests on the snowmobiles.
Okay, got it. This next question is from Maureen, who is wondering if there's an opportunity to camp overnight.
Lindsay.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. To cancel the...
Sorry, to camp overnight.
Oh, okay. I thought you said cancel the night. There is not yet. However, I'm excited to say that that is something that we are looking into.
Okay, got it. That would be exciting. This next question is from Jack, who has noticed that a lot of your literature says flight from Paris, and if customers from the United States must go to Paris first.
That's a good question, Jack. So we really strongly suggest that you go to Paris, because if your flight is delayed, then we can't really hold the ship for you. We include a pre-night in Paris and the flight from Paris to Longburen in the program. So we really do encourage that you go through that route just to make sure that you get the best experience with us.
Okay, that makes sense. And our next question is from Linda, who is wondering how the ship will accommodate those with physical limitations. And she specified not wheelchairs, just limitations.
Okay, well, I can tell you that like all of our ships, there are options to choose what you wish to do in each destination. So definitely make sure that you do choose the destinations that work for you. For example, our hikes, we have different variations. It can range from a coastal stroll to more of an uphill snowshoe hike. So those are really curtailed towards specific fitness levels and desires there. For guests that want to take a day off and relax, enjoy the spa, that can definitely be done as well. We do have our elevators in the middle of the ship. And a lot of our activities, such as zodiac cruising and really hearing from the naturalists, there's not so much activities being done for that. You do need to be able to get on and off zodiacs. by yourself. Definitely our expedition team will be there to help you on and off, but that's really the main challenge for people. And if that is something that you aren't able to do, then we might not be the best fit for you.
At the same time, though, just jumping in on that and having experienced the Antarctica shore excursions, I wanted to mention that because of the size of our ships, including Charcot, we are able to get closer to the shoreline, not right on the shoreline, of course, which means that the Zodiacs are able to get back and forth to the ship throughout the whole time that there is a shore landing going on. So if clients are not comfortable staying out as long on the shoreline or doing a hike or whatever, they can get back to the ship in the amount of time that they feel comfortable with.
That's true. And we have 20 Zodiacs on this ship, so there will be plenty available.
Perfect. Our next question is from Catherine, who has a client who is an avid diver and asking for an opportunity to do a dive in Antarctica and is wondering if PONANT offers that.
Great question. So we will be offering polar diving. However, it's only for groups that are polar diving groups that are booking a group on Charcot. So an individual traveler that wants to do polar diving, that's not a possibility. However, we do have the capabilities to do that, but there are certain criteria, qualifications that need to be done in order to have guests do that. And we would need to have some additional staff on board for that as well. So in summary, it can be done with groups, but not individuals.
Okay, that makes sense. And before I get to our next question, is it possible to put your contact information slide back on the screen? Perfect, thank you so much. Our next question is from Elizabeth, who is wondering when you will be releasing new deployments for 2022. She has clients interested in the Madagascar-Mauritius itinerary.
We are releasing more and more information on our 22 sailings almost every week. So just keep a close eye. And of course, feel free to reach out to your sales manager to keep a close eye for you on any sailings that you're interested in. And we'll make sure that you're alerted immediately after they come out, are released.
Perfect. And we just have a few more questions. Barbara is wondering if airfare is included.
So for the North Pole itinerary, airfare is included. We do have some airfare included on most of our Antarctica itineraries as well. If you go to the individual page for the trip, it will show you the airfare that is included. However, if you're referring to airfare to and from the US, that would be at an additional cost.
Okay, that makes sense. Our next question is from Andrew, who is wondering about what percentage of guests are French.
Great question, Andrew. So you would be surprised that over 50% of our guests are not French. So I would say you probably have about maybe 45% would be French-speaking travelers. The rest of them are from the US, UK, Australia, Germany, Belgium, and let's see, China as well, and a couple from Japan.
Okay, great. Related, Joanne is wondering what language is used on the cruise.
I'll take that one. On all of our cruises, both French and English are spoken equally. So announcements may be made initially in French, or they may be made initially in English, but they're all equally spoken and widely spoken by the crew every day.
Okay, perfect. That is convenient. And we just have one last question from Cynthia, who is wondering if children are allowed on these cruises and what the recommended age is.
Sure. So yes, children are allowed on these cruises. We're following our general expeditions guidelines right now. So the minimum age is 6. However, we do consider some ages possibly younger. It's really a case-by-case situation. And then for some of the more remote areas, we want to do some additional, I guess, screening for young kids as well to see if they're a good fit too. So 6 is our general age, but it will depend a little bit more on the more remote destinations.
Okay, got it. And those are all of our questions. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Teresa, Lindsay, and Preston for all of that wonderful information. This was a great webinar.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.